And I'm quite confident there's nobody in this building that does not believe in the value of safely storing your gun. And typically, lawful gun owners are the most concerned with that. And when we had a joint hearing during, I believe it was legislative days in November, with the Senate Committee on Judiciary, and I'm on the House Committee on Judiciary. We had many discussions about it, and I brought up that I spent a fair amount of money after we bought our car, the one we have now, having a box bolted to the frame of our car to secure a lockbox with the bolts inside that lockbox. Again, that was bolted to the frame of our car. Not to mention we have an alarm on our car and we keep it locked, of course, like many. That's the extent many people go to safely secure guns. Not everybody. And we had hours and hours of testimony down in room 50, and is fairly typical with emotional debates. We had a lot of people come in with some very sad, legitimate stories, and we had people coming in with very passionate speeches about don't take my guns. We had very few people that discussed the details of the bill and how it will work or will not work. I appreciate this last amendment to add some clarity. It's a frustrating process. I'm trying to be constructive with my comments here, and it's kind of tough. I have heard some say, and I'm beginning to believe it, this bill is not as focused, and I'm not impugning motives for the authors of the bills or the sponsors of the bill at all. They have their reasons, and your reasons for doing what you're doing are just as valid as my reasons for doing what I do. It feels like, and I think it's legitimate, the current concerns that have been brought to me, it feels like a bill that is causing lawful gun owners to be afraid to own guns. And it feels like that's what motivates this. I don't know that that's true or not, and we're not going to know today. That's not what legislation is for, if that is the purpose. Suicide is an extraordinarily serious issue. I'm a cop, I've seen it. And if suicide is the important issue that we are wanting to address with this legislation, then we should not be only talking about guns, because it's a serious issue outside of that. So my no does not represent anything to do with suicide. My no does nothing to do with accidental shootings, crimes, all those kinds of things. We already have gun laws. This has to do with, I think, legislation that, frankly, forgive me, is not clearly drafted. The language is unclear. And frankly, I think the motivation is to cause people to be afraid to own guns. And that's not what I came here for, and I'm not saying others came here to do that. But I will certainly be a no tonight.